Today, we will delve into the key political parties and movements of the early 20th century that shaped the history of Russia and Central Asia. These include the Bolsheviks, Cadets, Socialist Revolutionaries, and the influential national movements such as Alash, Free Jews, Shura Islamiyya, and Shura Ulema. Each of these movements had distinct ideologies, strategies, and goals. We will explore their core principles and analyze their historical legacies, drawing on notable works like The Russian Revolution by Sheila Fitzpatrick and The Politics of Muslim Cultural Reform by Adib Khalid. The Bolsheviks emerged as a Marxist faction of the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party in 1903, advocating for a dictatorship of the proletariat as outlined in Lenin's seminal work What is to be Done, 1902. Lenin argued for a centralized and disciplined revolutionary party to lead the working class towards socialism. The Bolsheviks rejected parliamentary democracy, emphasizing Soviets, workers' councils as the basis for governance. Fitzpatrick, 1994. They played a central role in the October Revolution of 1917, overthrowing the provisional government and implementing radical policies such as land distribution and the nationalization of industries. The Bolsheviks justified the use of violence to achieve their goals. Evident during the Red Terror, 1918 to 1922, when dissenters were suppressed. Fitzpatrick, 1994. Their success in consolidating power marked the beginning of the Soviet rule, as chronicled in Orlando Figes, A People's Strategy, The Russian Revolution, 1997.
The Cadets, or Constitutional Democratic Party, emerged in 1905 as a liberal force advocating for constitutional monarchy. Their platform called for civil liberties, universal suffrage, and legal equality, as outlined in their 1905 manifesto. The Cadets were primarily supported by intellectuals and professionals seeking gradual reforms rather than revolution, as said by Hosking in 2001. Despite their strong advocacy for democratic principles, the Cadets were overshadowed by radical movements like Bolsheviks after the 1917 revolution. Their efforts to establish a parliamentary democracy were thwarted, and many leaders faced exile and imprisonment under Soviet rules, as was written by Heimson 1955. So, founded in 1902, the Socialist Revolutionary Party represented Russia's agrarian majority. Unlike the Bolsheviks, who focused on industrial workers, the Socialist Revolutionaries saw the peasantry as the primary revolutionary force. They proposed redistributing land to peasant communities and building socialism rooted in rural traditions, as said by Redke in 1958. The Socialist Revolutionaries were also known for their use of political violence, including high-profile assassinations orchestrated by their combat organizations. This tactic reflected their belief in direct action to undermine the Tsarist regime, as was said by Figes in 1997. Despite early popularity, the Socialist Revolutionaries lost influence after the Bolsheviks take over and were ultimately suppressed.
So next we will talk about the national movements such as the Alash and the Three Jews. Alash movement, founded in 1917, embodied the aspiration of the Kazakh intelligentsia for autonomy within a federated Russia. Leaders like Alikhan Bukikhanov emphasized modernization, secular education, and national self-determination while respecting Kazakh cultural heritage, as written in Old Gold 1987. However, Alash leaders were targeted during Stalin's purges, ending the movement's influence by the 1930s. The three Jews, rooted in traditional tribal divisions, was not a formal political entity but played a crucial role in negotiating with Russian authorities. These tribal unions facilitated unity among Kazakhs during a period of significant political change. Martin, 2001. And the Islamic movements such as Shura-e-Islamiyya and Shura-e-Ulumiyya emerged after the collapse of Tsarist rule in 1917. Shura-e-Islamiyya, based in Tashkent, aimed to unify Central Asia's Muslim population and establish an autonomous state while preserving Islamic traditions. Khalid, 1988. Meanwhile, Shura-e-Ulumiyya focused on religious and educational reforms, striving to strengthen Islamic scholarships and cultural identity. Both movements faced significant challenges as the Bolshevik consolidated power, eventually leading to their suppression. Alexander Bennigsen and Chantal Limser-Kulkijay highlighted this in Islam in the Soviet Union, 1967, noting the Bolsheviks' efforts to secularize and centralize governance in Muslim-majority regions.
The early 20th century was a period of transformative political and social change. The Bolsheviks sought a radical break with the past, establishing socialism through revolution. Fitzpatrick, 1994. The Cadets pursued democratic reforms, advocating for constitutional governance. Hosking, 2001. The socialist revolutionaries emphasized agrarian socialism and peasant empowerment. Redke, 1958. Meanwhile, movements like Alash and Shura-e-Islamiyya highlighted the importance of national and cultural identity in Central Asia. Olcott, 1987. Khalid, 1998. Together, these movements left a profound legacy on the history of Russia and Central Asia.